I take this opportunity to welcome you to today's session. My name is Dennis Jero, and the topic for today is the types of customers. We're going to look at the types of customers that we have out here. We're also going to look at quite a couple of issues that surround the customers. In terms of what is there to be covered today, we are going to look at the session objectives. Thereafter, we look at the introduction bit of definitions of a customer. We're going to look at the key characteristics of customers. Thereafter, we look at the importance of knowing the types of customers, and then a summary of the same at the end. In terms of session objectives, the essence of studying or having this session is to be able to be in a position to understand customer diversity. The next point in terms of session is to be able to identify the target segments in the market that relate to customers. Next is to tailor marketing strategies relating to the different types of customers. Next is to improve customer service. The other session objective is to optimize product offerings as a result of the knowledge gained. Next is to enhance the customer experience. The other point is to know how to drive customer retention and loyalty by understanding the various types of customers and how they need to be treated. Next is to know how to stay competitive. The other point is to assist in measuring the KPIs. Not only just measuring, but also establishing how we are going to measure them based on the knowledge we gain. Then next and lastly is to know how to align organizational goals that relate to revenue that comes from the customers. Going into the introduction, next, we are saying that we need to define who is a customer. We're saying that a customer is an individual, organization, or entity that purchases goods or services from a business in exchange for payment. So this person, this organization, this entity, when we say the individual, we are saying there's the natural and there's artificial person that is purchasing goods from your entity in exchange for payment, then is a customer. Customers play a central role in the economy by driving demand for products and services, thereby supporting businesses and stimulating economic activity. From the purchases of a customer, everybody feeds from there, from the government, the business itself, the workers, to all the stakeholders that you can think about in a business. Because once the revenue is, the net profit is obtained, then this can be shared out to the various people that relate to that business. Customers may purchase goods or services for personal use, business purposes, or resale, depending on their needs and the preferences. That is very, very important to know. Proceeding, more importantly, before we delve into the importance of knowing or gaining knowledge on customers, as well as the types, then what are the key characteristics of customers? And here we're saying that customers, one of the key characteristics of a customer is the purchase intent. That customers have the intention or desire to acquire goods or services offered by businesses to fulfill a particular need, want, or desire. So if a person has no intention of purchasing, then that does not form one of the key considerations as them being a customer. The next one is transaction, and we're saying that customers engage in transactions with businesses, exchanging money or other forms of payment for the products or services they receive. You know, exchanging money. Transaction is give me the good or service, I give you the money. So there has to be an element of transaction for us to consider this to be our customer. Next is relationship with business, and we're seeing that customers may have varying degrees of engagement and interaction with businesses ranging from one-time transaction to long-time relationships based on repeat purchases, loyalty, and trust. That's very true. A customer over time, whether it's a first-time customer or a long-time customer, is going to create a relationship with a business where they engage, where they know that this is my one-stop shop place for me to come and obtain the goods that I require. Then we have the needs and the preferences, whereby we're saying that customers have specific needs, preferences, and expectations regarding the products or services they seek, influencing their purchasing decisions and behavior. Very true. Women purchase differently from men. Teenagers purchase differently from the aged, and like what we may say, the millennials and the ZDs and the like. The needs are very, very different. What may look very valuable to one group of customers may not be that valuable to another, and vice versa. Then is the value perception, where we're saying that customers assess the value proposition of goods and services based on factors such as quality, price, features, convenience, and brand reputation, determining whether they perceive the offering as worth the cost. You know, customers purchase based on the value that they give to a particular brand. The way one particular client perceives a Mercedes-Benz, for instance, may be very different from the way another perceives a brand like Toyota is very different from the way somebody else perceives a Mazda. But they may have enjoyed these products over their lifetime, from when they started earning to when they are coming up in their lives. So the value perception is an important characteristic of customers. Next, we have feedback and communication, that customers provide feedback, reviews, and suggestions to business based on their experiences, contributing to product improvement, service enhancement, and customer satisfaction. This feedback and communication is very important for the business because it helps you to understand where you can be able to improve on, or the areas that you feel you can actually be able to do better than you're currently doing in your respective undertaking. Then we have the market segmentation, where we're saying that customers are often segmented into different groups based on demographics, psychographic, geographic, or behavioral characteristics to better understand their preferences, behaviors, and purchasing patterns. You know, if you look at continent-wise, country-wise, region-wise, the way that customers purchase different items is different, and therefore that is a key characteristic of the customers. Let's now proceed to look at the importance of studying the types of customers. And one of the key importances is to understand a target marketing. You know, by this we mean that we need to understand the customer types that enables businesses to tailor their marketing strategies to effectively reach and appeal to specific segments of the market. Take the case of, like I once said, like a young couple. You know, the kind of purchases that we'll do is different from a couple that has children that are probably left home already. So we also need to understand the kind of target marketing we have. The students who are in school are likely to have a different purchasing point from somebody who is not in school and is just an investor. The second importance is improved customer service. We need to understand, recognize the different types of customers that allows businesses to provide more personalized and tailor-made customer service experiences. Remember, we say customer is king, you know? So where customer does not feel like he's treated as a king, therefore he's not likely to come back again, you know? And therefore, we need to understand what the customers, the respective customers, require us to do so that they can feel that they're kings and they can come back for repeat business. The next importance in relation to understanding the types of customers is enhanced product development. Sometimes we may have products that can be improved or can be redesigned so that they can meet the needs of the customers. This is knowledge that is gained from understanding the types of customers. Customer segmentation. We're able to segment customers based on their needs, you know? We're saying that based on common characteristics allows business to identify and prioritize high-value customer segments. You may have the same product being sold at different prices for various reasons to different types of customers. The customers who want to go out there and be able to shop, the other customers that want deliveries, the other customers who are in the high-end suburbs. And therefore, the kind of segmentation needed is knowledge that can only be gained from understanding the types of customers. Next, we have the customer retention and loyalty. This is very important. From repeat sales or from repeat customers, this forms one of the core essence of the revenues of a business. We want a customer to come back to our business as much as possible. And then we have the competitive advantage. Of course, we're able to hedge. If you understand our customers so well and we offer them our services and products in the right manner that they require, therefore, we cannot go to our competitors. This forms a huge chunk of our competitive advantage, and that is very important. So having said that, let's now proceed to the types of customers. And we're saying there are various ways you can categorize customers. This is not the only way. There are different authors, different scholars that have different perceptions, but this is one of them. So I'll list them before delving deeper into them. And we're saying the first way we can classify customer is either a consumer or a business customer. That's like an individual or a business customer. The second way is classifying them as either new or returning customers, you know, or repeat customers, so to speak. The third way is, are they either retail customers who buy in small quantities, or are they wholesale customers who buy in bulk, you know? Are they high touch or low touch customers, you know? Are they these very high end or these low end kind of customers? Are they profitable or non-profitable customers? We usually have a rule known as the 20/80 rule, where we usually say that 80% of the business is offered by 20% of the customers. So those 20% of the customers that give you 80% of the business will form the profitable customers. And then the non-profitable may be the 80 that give you the 20%. You need to really be aware about this. Next point is the impulse buyers versus considered buyers. The people who buy things they're not planned to, and the people who buy objectively because they had research and they really need that particular product. Then we have the loyal customers versus the occasional customers. You know, the customers who come to your shop constantly and those who come once in a while. So let's look at each one of them categorically. And we're saying that the first classification is where we are saying that we have the consumer versus business customers. Under this, we're saying that when you talk about consumer customers, these are individuals who purchase goods or services for personal use, you know, personal use. That's key. Then business customers are those that buy products or services for their own use or for resale, you know. Let's take the case of you as an individual buying, for instance, like a roll-on that you need to use that is for personal use. But if a couple of cartons of the same roll-on are bought from a wholesaler by a retailer, then that becomes a case of business customers. The next point that we have is what we're referring to as new versus returning customers, where we're saying that a new customer refers to the kind of customer who makes the first purchase or transaction with a business. So at one point, all of us are new customers because where we buy from constantly is that initial transaction that we did with that business. And therefore that forms, makes us or forms a clientele of new customers. Where return customers are those who have made purchases or transactions with the business before and come back for more. Number 3 is the retail customers versus wholesale customer. I think I've already highlighted this, where we're talking about retail customers are end users who buy products in a small quantities for personal use or services, while wholesale customers, those ones buy in bulk at discounted prices for resale. The high touch versus the low touch customers. The high touch are those who require more personalized attention and assistance throughout their buying journey, and therefore they buy at quite expensive points, while the low touch are those who prefer minimal interaction and prefer to conduct transactions independently, you know. So the high touch require more helping, more personalized attention, while the low touch customers, they don't need all that much. Profitable versus non-profitable customers. Once again, we're saying that those are the profitable customers are those that purchase, whose purchases contribute significantly to the company's revenues and profits. I talked about the 20% customers contributing to the 80% of the business revenues, while the non-profitable customers are those whose purchases yield little to no profit margin due to high acquisition cost, low order values, or other factors. So as a business person, you really need to understand this. So anytime you find profitable customer as an issue, you rather even send a team there to go and understand what is the challenge, because you're playing around with that client or not giving them services the way they need, then you're playing around with your 80% of your revenues, which is quite dangerous. Next point or class of customer is the impulse buyer versus considered buyer. We're saying that the impulse buyer are customers who make purchasing decisions spontaneously, often driven by emotions or on immediate needs, you know. Yeah, so this is not somebody who is really organized or had planned to buy, but maybe just go into a supermarket, you find something and, oh, you say, I think I need to buy this, and you're not planned. You're an impulse buyer. While considered buyer is a customer who may take time to research, compare options, and carefully evaluate their purchasing decisions. Especially when you're buying something like a high value item, you may need to be a considered buyer so that you don't lose a very big chunk of the money. Next, we have the customers you can call loyal customers versus occasional customers. And here we're saying that loyal customers are those who consistently choose to buy from a specific business over time due to satisfaction, loyalty programs, or brand affinity. While the occasional customers are those who make purchases infrequently and do not have strong loyalty to any particular brand or business. So your loyal customers, of course, are people who you have to really have quite an eye for, but you also need to be focusing on why do we have the occasional customers? How can we convert the occasional customers into loyal customers for the long-term benefit of the business? We also have now a summary of all what we've looked at, and we're saying that in this session we aimed at knowing how to understand customer diversity, to be able to identify target segments, tailor marketing strategies, improve customer experience, optimize customer service, optimize product offerings, enhance customer experience, know how to drive customer retention and loyalty, and know how to stay competitive, assist in knowing how to measure success by setting KPIs, and know how to align organizational goals. That's what we aimed to achieve in this objective, or in this having this session. We're also saying that we define the customer as an individual, organization, or entity that purchases goods or services from a business in exchange for payment. The key characteristics of customers are that customers need to have a purchase intent. They need to also have a transaction to execute the purchase, the exchange of the money for the good or service. Then they also need to have a relationship with the business, where they have the needs and the preferences, where they value perception. They give us feedback and communication as well. And we're also saying that, and they also have the market segmentation based on the characteristics that they have. The importance of knowing the types of customers is that it helps us in executing target marketing. It also helps us to improve customer service. It helps to enhance product development. And it also helps us to execute customer segmentation, which helps to bring more revenue. And it also enhances customer retention and loyalty, and also help to gain competitive advantage. Then finally, in summary, you're saying that we also have the 7 broad categories that we can classify our customers under. And we're saying that the first one is that customers can be classified as the consumer versus the business customer, the new versus returning customer, retail customer versus wholesale customers, high touch versus low touch customers, profitable versus non-profitable customers, impulse buyers versus considered buyers, and lastly, the loyal customer versus occasional customer. So as you can see, it's very important for you to know the various kind of clients that you have, and the importance of how to treat each of them differently, and also price your products accordingly. For more information, you can always contact us at Foboli Associates for any training that you may need for your staff to have a better understanding of customer care and the like. Thank you, and you have a good day. Thank you for your attention.